and welcome back to Beyond the Reading. I'm your host, Justin Cardoza. I'm a psychic medium.
Hi, I'm Roseanne Cardoza, and I am a para-philosopher.
All right, and today we're going to be talking about something a little bit different. All right, so maybe some things, there's been a big resurgence of ghost hunters, and those shows are really popular, and lots of people want to get in on the act, playing with their technology and their toys and stuff. But we're just going to go over a few things that I think and Roseanne thinks that, you should do or shouldn't do when ghost hunting.
Absolutely. It's one of my biggest, probably, pet peeves. I think that ghost hunting is a really amazing thing, especially if you're intrigued by the other side. When you think about people who go and set forth to go and hunt for ghosts, it's generally because they've had some sort of paranormal experience themselves that they can't quite understand because it happens so quickly, and they want to see if they can recapture that, but this time only on film or in an audio recording, like an EVP session, which is, happen quite a bit. A lot of people will get those recordings. That's not uncommon.
Right. So essentially, what you're saying is that you think that a lot of people, and I agree with you, that a lot of people go into ghost hunting because they may have had something occur, maybe when they were a child, and they want to recreate it. The first time they weren't ready for it, but this time they're gonna be ready for it and try to make some sort of explanation out of what happened, right? So, totally agree, and I don't think that there's anything wrong with that.
No, absolutely not. But if you're going to do that, and I've used this analogy with you before, because, there are lots of ghost hunting shows on television. There's just been, it started out with medium shows, like Crossing Over with John Edward, and
right.
And then it kind of gradually became, ghost hunting shows. I think the one that we loved the most was Most Haunted, the one out of the UK.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, it was just a well-rounded show. It had a historian. It had a host, a historian that told you a little bit about the backstory of the place that they were going to investigate. And they had their film crew, and they went through a tour, and then they had the medium, which was kind of like, the medium was like the guests, let's see what...
Kind of like a co-host almost, like in the second half, yeah.
Totally, but it was just so amazing, because I think the history in the UK, and there's just so much to dive into over there, But in the States, when, it started kind of catching on, the ghost hunting shows, those TAPS guys, they were like plumbers, remember?
Well, yeah, because all of their equipment is essentially, what you would need for checking out ghosts. So It kind of worked out for them.
Right.
But, I think one thing that drives me nuts more than anything is when ghost hunters go into a place with no clearly defined agenda. So, for example...
They're like, we're going to go, our client, we're going to go help them resolve this issue.
Right. How?
We're going to go investigate. I love how these people say, we're going to go investigate.
Right.
What, with your guns, like your little flare guns and your recorders and your cameras?
It's not like they're walking around with a unlicensed nuclear accelerator on their bag.
Yes, the mass majority of ghost hunters are like that.
Yeah, if you're going to go into a place, and let's say that you do figure out it's haunted, okay? What then? What's next? So, really, going in without a clearly defined agenda or having any way to help the person who owns the property, or more importantly, to help the person that is stuck or still in that area that's on the other side, aka the ghost, you should go and help them try to cross over. And it is very possible to do, but you never hear about anyone doing it. I do hear a few. I have heard a few ghost hunters do it here and there, and I hate that term ghost hunters, but I mean, what else would you call them, right?
Yeah.
And I think that when you go into a place that is haunted, whether it's a legitimate haunting or places with residual energy.
Well, let's back up here, okay? Because I want to say something here. Most ghost hunters go into the place that they're going to investigate. Say somebody like Joe Blow calls them up and says, I'm scared. Things are happening in my house. You know, I hear things and I need you to come investigate, okay? The first intention that they have, the first thing that crosses their mind, well, one, it's the fear within the home, just if it's a homeowner, you know, they already have built-in fear because they're already uneasy. They don't understand what's going on. You know, I mean, unless you're, you know, your head is spinning backwards or, you know, I mean, there's some, you know, I'm not to make light of those things,
no,
but,
right, yeah.
you know, I mean, when you're not dealing with those things on an everyday basis, it can be scary. And it doesn't matter. I mean, you could be home by yourself, and when you hear noises come from the other room, it's unsettling. I mean, not everybody thinks that's, you know, comforting, you know. Yeah. So most ghost hunters go into it with sheer delight that they're going to find some sort of evil, demonic poltergeist. And that's what drives me crazy, because not everything is scary. Not every investigation that you're going to is evil and demonic and like an exorcist type of situation.
I'm going to go one step further. I'm going to go one step further than that. You say not every, hell, I'm going to say the majority aren't that.
Right.
Because I promise you, the first one that somebody encounters that is like that, they're never doing it again. They'll be gone. And they'll be lucky if it doesn't follow them.
Right.
Okay? They'd have a whole new set of trouble. Right. So here's the thing. People watch these horror movies. I can't tell you how many people that I hear talk, well. Based on Annabelle,
Ring,
Annabelle.
Come on.
No,
now.
you cannot do that. Okay, you cannot base things off of horror movies that you've seen.
According to Paranormal Activity.
No, you have to go in with the completely
open mind and a clean slate. And the problem is marketing. Mm-hmm. The marketing that gets people into this stuff is all based around, ooh, spooky, and ooh, you know, and it's not that at all.
No.
It's not that at all. This is just a natural function of life.
It doesn't matter. You don't have to go at midnight. You don't have to go 3 a.m.
No.
If something is haunted or noisy,
it's haunted 24 hours a day.
It doesn't matter. You can get it in the light, because I can guarantee you that it's just as scary if you are frightened of something, because when you are afraid of something, fear builds upon that fear. So it's just being able to separate.
Fear is a lower vibrational energy, which is going to feed whatever activity is happening.
Right.
So, for example, you know, people like to,
according to Paranormal Activity.
But you know what? No. Let's go to Poltergeist, okay? You like using movies so much, right? Poltergeist is a perfect example.
Perfect.
Hey, the mother turns her back. She turns back around and all the chairs are stacked on the table. It was broad daylight. It was like 8 a.m.
Yes.
Okay? Trust me, how many of you people, if you did that, would be gone out of your house the minute that happened?
But, you know, and here's the deal, because you
which I don't like that movie.
Which I don't understand, because it is so accurately... it's just
the things that they say in it
so accurate. It's
so
accurate.
Look.
And our son and I, we just recently watched it, and you know, he wasn't scared at all because he understood.
Right. Okay. Well, good for him.
But he understood everything that was going on. To him, it wasn't scary. But there's a scene in it where Jo Beth Williams in the beginning where she sits Carol Ann on the floor and, the husband comes home and she's, all excited because she discovered that, the poltergeist, they pull Carol Ann from one side of the kitchen to the other side. But she tells her husband, look, she's excited about it. She sees that it's something absolutely amazing.
Yeah, something supernatural.
Supernatural, and she's totally not afraid of it, which I love that they wrote it, that character that way. And she tells her husband, before you say anything, before you do anything, just keep an open mind, just like in the 60s, keep an open mind. Don't be afraid. And then, she shows... And, again, as the, movie goes on, once she acknowledges them, okay, it progressively gets
worse.
And of course, it was built on Indian land, but we digress. The whole point is that you shouldn't, really... You're not going into...
We're going down a rabbit hole here with this thing. But bottom line is, if your kid slides across the floor from a supernatural force, get the hell out of the building.